We finally made it to Moab, 20-something hours on the road, so we are excited to go wheeling. We've got the JL finally up and done. 2 weeks, we had it all starting from stock Willys to looking like this. 40-inch McKee Thompson tires. Really excited to get this thing out on the trail. So we're gonna go and hit 3D in the Pickle. See you guys out there. The XJ has finally made it to its maiden voyage. So this is gonna be its first time on the trail. We're super excited to see how everything does. 42-inch Pitbull rockers on here. This thing should go everywhere we want to put it. So now let's just hope we don't break anything. So here's the XJ coming up on the first obstacle. This is the very first thing we did after the build. We haven't done any testing with it. As you can see, we're not getting the front locker working. We're getting one-wheel wonder up there, so it's not climbing. We're trying to figure out why our locker's not working, but as I'm looking at it, I can't find any switches in there. I think the guys back at the shop kind of pumped me and kind of hid the switch. So what it was is it was actually wired to the fog light switch. You have to have the headlights on for the fog lights to work. So I couldn't figure it out for the first half of the trail.
And Josh is driving the Gladiator.
He seems to run into the same problem, but he just didn't turn on the switch. You can see the one wheel peel in the front.
Front locker!
It's the first wheeling trip of the season. Everybody's trying to figure out how their rig works again.
Damn rookies, you know? He's got barely any wheeling experience under his belt. Here comes Sam in his YJ. And Sam is a big believer in LS swap the world. So he took up the prior engine and swapped in an LS. He really likes the sound of it. I do too.
He also likes to show off a little bit sometimes. On for safety.
Yeah. You can see my headlights are on for safety. That way if I need to use my locker, I can actually do it. This is the first day, so we really were just starting to get used to this XJ. We just didn't air down the tires low enough. We went down to 8 to start just to see how things worked. And you can see that the tires weren't really grabbing very well. This is our trail leader. He's running a really sweet ZJ.
It needs more iron rock parts on it, though.
It does need more iron rock parts, but he does make it look pretty easy, doesn't he? Nice to see a second ZJ on our trail ride. Love those old ZJs. Don't see them on the trail as much as you used to. So again, you're going to see those front tires just are not, well, none of the tires are really wrapping around those rocks like they should. So.
Looks like your locker's working, so you good?
I got the fog lights on, it's good. The second day we came down to 5, and I think our proper pressure is probably more like 3 or 4 with those big 42-inch Pitbull rockers. They're like a brand new set of barn finds, so they're been around for a few years, but they had 0 miles before we started this trip.
seeing Derek really figure out how to use this Jeep since he really hasn't wheeled it at all.
Yeah, and we're just going to kind of let it kind of crab walk a little bit here and just keep going and see if it'll find a little bit of traction and get us up over the hill. So the JL we found out was not engaging into four-wheel drive. You see that passenger tire is just completely pushing. It's doing absolutely nothing. It's got front and rear lockers in it. What we figured out was that the front axle disconnect was not engaging. So we're getting the driver's side tire is getting power, but we're getting absolutely nothing to the passenger side. So that's much worse than an open diff. I mean, that passenger side is absolutely dead. It's not doing anything at all.
With that one dead tire though, you really had to work hard to choose a really good line on every obstacle because that tire was just not helping.
This is a perfect example here. It's just running into something and it won't do anything. And with an open diff, you can kind of get a little bit of action out of it, trying to put the passenger tire into the low side, or come in with a little momentum to get it to just bounce right over. This is another shot where you can see really well how the tires aren't wrapping all that well around the rock. You can see it kind of conforming a little bit. And once we take a couple more pounds of pressure out, it really conformed a lot better, and those tires started to grip a whole lot better. But the Pickle is just one of the best trails to go on. It's so much fun. It's short and sweet. So now this JT is incredibly long. It's got the topper, got the rooftop tent. So you're pushing him way to the right here. Normally you come a little further left, but to keep him from bouncing the topper or the quarter panel into the rocks, push him way to the right. And that way he can start to cut it over and get that back into climb without hitting the rock. Another good example of where that passenger tire is just absolutely dead. It's doing nothing at all to help us except rolling free.
look at those beautiful aluminum skid plates.
And those things worked so well. Then you bounce those off. But look at how high the clearance is. Really tucked up tight. And John comes in and just pilots this JL really, really well. He's got a 37s aired down real nice, so you can see those things are really gripping the rock really well, conforming. Pretty much everything he does always looks pretty easy. Don't tell John, but I think Lisa would have made it easier though.
Here's an interesting setup. Leaf springs in the front, coilovers in the back.
It's like a reverse mullet or something. What is that? Well, I guess it's kind of right. You know, a business in the front and those long arms in the back, you really at the party. Somebody a little bit cocky there. Lights on for safety. At least know my lockers have the potential to be running when the lights are on. This actually belongs to a friend of ours that we did a bunch of work for on the rig, and he let us put our wrap on it and take it out here and test it. He wasn't even able to come make it with us, so can't wait to see Adam come and wheel the hell out of this thing soon. I think we really needed to be at about 3 or 4 psi to get those tires to really wrap around those rocks. Here comes Tyler and his Wuggy, WJ Buggy, and I'm telling you, he just makes everything look so easy with his 42-inch pit bulls. Also, if you're in the Grand Junction area, a great place to get your batteries at Tyler Battery. So when we got back to camp after running the Pickle, we had 3-wheel drive. So what we did is we pulled this skid plate off. This is the actuator. It should be plugged in right here. But what we did is we pulled the actuator out, and there's a collar that sits in there that connects 2 shafts. So it wasn't engaging to lock those shafts in. It was sitting free. So we slid it over, and as this thing was off, when we had shifted into 4-wheel drive, the actuator would move, but it just didn't have enough power to slide it over. So what we did is we got it moved over, got it bolted back on, and then we simply unplugged it. And with that, it stayed locked in 4-wheel drive. We didn't have any other issues, and the locker worked. Everything worked awesome after that. Well, we got done with 3D and the Pickle. Just had a ton of fun. Love that trail. It's really fun. The JL worked really well, except that we still don't have 4-wheel drive working correctly. So when we get back to camp, we're going to disassemble that actuator, see if we can figure out what's going on there. But stay tuned. We go ahead and do a bunch more trail rides. So we're going to have a lot of fun. It's going to be a great week.